Some would call this the more intriguing game of the two college football playoff semifinals. Number 4, Ohio State will be taking on number 1, Georgia. And the question, the debate still rages, should Ohio State have gotten in? Should Georgia be afraid of Ohio State? It's certainly not going to be an easy game in the Peach Bowl, and we are here to break it all down for you today and share our projected winner on who will go to the national championship. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We are so glad that you could join us today as we break down everything you need to know for this matchup between the Buckeyes and the Bulldogs. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. The link right down there in the description, because we have our holiday special. $29.99 gets you every single college football bowl game spread pick, where we currently own the best mark in the entire country as of this filming, 15-2 against the spread in college football bowl games. We are also giving you every single NFL playoff pick in that holiday special. So every single postseason game for college and NFL combined into one package for $29.99. Money that we can guarantee you'll get back like that and more. So go check it out. The link down in the description below. Guaranteed winnings, guaranteed big time winnings, and our little treat to you right here at the Gridiron Expert. So let's break down this game, guys. I'm pumped. I am pumped for this game. I'm pumped for the playoffs, period, but I'm really excited for this game because there's so many storylines surrounding it. You have the reigning national champions in Georgia who have just looked unbeatable all year long. Undefeated. They're kicking butt, they're taking names, and they play an Ohio State team that is the 4 seed that barely got in, needed some help to get in, but yet people still look at them and they say, this is dangerous if you're Georgia. This is still a good Ohio State team, and one that if Georgia's not careful, Ohio State could beat them. They could pull off an upset over the number 1 seed. Back, kind of like they did all the way back when the playoff first started, when they beat Alabama and then beat Oregon in the national championship game. It's not a game that Georgia can afford to overlook. You take a look at the offense, guys. Ohio State is averaging 44.5 points per game. They're averaging 294 passing yards per game, and they're averaging nearly 200 rushing yards per game. It's one of the best offenses in the country, going up against what's going to be, or is, one of the best defenses in the country. So, great storyline there. It all starts, guys, for Ohio State. Their success offensively starts with their Heisman finalist quarterback in C.J. Stroud, who's thrown for over 3,300 yards, 37 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions. Great carry of the football, great arm, great quarterback. And me personally, he missed out on the playoff last year. I'm excited to see C.J. Stroud get his shot in the playoffs. You look at Mayan Williams, 817 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns on the year on the ground. Great run game. Won't have Travion Henderson. That's okay. Williams has been phenomenal all year long. You look at the wide receiver core. That's where it's exciting for C.J. Stroud. That's where it's exciting for Ohio State. You have Marvin Harrison Jr., who has over 1,100 yards through the air, or reception yards, 12 touchdowns. Jackson Smith-Njigba was supposed to be the go-to receiver this year. He's been hurt practically all season long. So Marvin Harrison Jr. picked up the slack. And Mecca Egbuka picked up the slack as well. 1,039 yards, 9 touchdowns. So they have 2 1,000-yard wide receivers that have combined for 21 touchdowns. And the Buckeyes have scored at least 43 points in 9 of the 12 games that they've played. The only games they did not were when they scored 21 against Notre Dame in the season opener, when they scored 21 against Northwestern in a game that was featuring like 40-mile-per-hour winds and tons of rain, and then, of course, the season finale where they only mustered 23 points at home to Michigan. That one probably the most concerning of the 3. But Ohio State's offense is good. Cannot afford to be overlooked. Thing is, Georgia's offense is pretty dang good, too. The Bulldogs are averaging 39.2 points per game. It's a little less than Ohio State, averaging 285 through the air, 207 on the ground. So both teams pretty balanced offensively. Both teams clearly have been more of a pass-happy team, but I would say Georgia definitely a little more balanced and would lean a little bit more so on the run than that of Ohio State. You look at Stetson Bennett, another Heisman finalist. So a battle here in the playoff between 2 Heisman Trophy finalists. He has thrown for over 3,400 yards, 20 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, just like C.J. Stroud. So takes great care of the football. He's a veteran QB, led Georgia to the national championship. He's been in this situation before. This is nothing new for Georgia and nothing new for Stetson Bennett. He has arguably the best tight end in the country in Brock Bowers at his disposal, 726 yards and 6 touchdowns on the year. And the thing that really impresses me the most about Georgia, and consistently does under Kirby Smart, is their run game. How dominant they are up front, how good they are at running the ball. 6 players have rushed for at least 100 yards for Georgia this year. They're led by Kenny McIntosh, 709 yards, 10 touchdowns on the year. They've got Dajon Edwards right behind him, 681 yards, 7 touchdowns. So they spread the wealth. They can ground and pound. They can beat you downhill, bully ball up front. It's really hard to stop this Georgia ground game. And they've scored at least 33 points in 10 of the 13 games that they have played. The only exceptions were when they beat Missouri and only mustered 26 points in a very big scare earlier in the year. 27 points when they annihilated Tennessee, and 16 points when they beat Kentucky by 10 late in the year. So those are only exceptions for Georgia where they were held to under 33 points. Take a look at the defense, guys. Can Ohio State do it? Can Ohio State hold Georgia to under 33 points? Can Georgia's defense hold Ohio State to under 43? Can they both slow down these very good and dynamic offenses? Well, that's really why Ohio State brought in Jim Knowles, right? One of the best defensive minds in the game, had a phenomenal year last year with Oklahoma State. Ryan Day went and plucked him out of Stillwater, brought him to Columbus to fix the defense, and he's done it. Ohio State giving up just 19.3 points per game, only 184 yards through the air, only 120 yards on the ground. Those numbers right there, that's the whole reason why they brought in Jim Knowles, because of that effect that he can have and the job that he's done over the course of his career. He's doing it in Columbus. He's a major reason why Ohio State is in this position right now. They have 32 sacks on the year, pretty good pass rush. They have 17 takeaways on the year, not too bad either. They've allowed over 21 points just 3 times in a 44-31 victory against Penn State. A little bit closer than people thought it would be, but still beat Penn State 44-31. 43-30 win over Maryland, and then the Michigan game where they lost 45-23. But here's the concerning thing. Look at those numbers a little bit deeper. Why were so many points scored there? Well, against Penn State, Ohio State allowed 371 passing yards and 111 on the ground, 482 yards total. They allowed 318 passing yards and 84 rushing yards to Maryland. They allowed 278 passing yards and 252 rushing yards to Michigan. They were outgained in all 3. In all 3 games, they went 2-1 in those games, but in all 3 games, Ohio State was outgained, and they allowed big-time yardage to one of the strengths. Strength for Penn State, throwing the ball. Strength for Maryland, throwing the ball. Michigan, running the ball, 252 yards on the ground. They've got to find a way to make Georgia one-dimensional. Got to find a way to take away Georgia's strength. What might that be for a team that just bounces Georgia? I'm not really sure. If I was leaning Ohio State, I'd find a way to force Stetson Bennett to win it through the air. Can he do it? Yes. But I'd love to force him to solely go air raid, solely just to throw, than to give him that option to hand it off and allow the ground game to get it going. Ohio State's got to find a way to stop the run while they're facing Georgia. They have to find a way to not get outgained. They've got to find a way to move the ball. Something they did in those games. They put points on the board, but still, the other offenses outplayed them. You look at Georgia's defense, that could be the case again here, guys. Georgia's only given up 12.8 points per game, one of the best defenses in the country. What would you expect from Kirby Smart? They're giving up 215 passing yards per game and only 77 yards per game on the ground. That's it. 77 rushing yards per game. Ohio State averaging nearly 200. So go ahead and cross that out. You can't beat Georgia by running. You just can't do it. You're not going to beat the Bulldogs by running. Luckily, Ohio State has a great passing attack. They've got a great quarterback. They've got 2 1,000-yard wide receivers, so they can win through the air. You're not going to do it on the ground. So Georgia's defense knows that. They're going to have to obviously respect the run, but they know to win this game, you've got to focus on the pass. You've got to shut down C.J. Stroud. That's a bit of concerning. Can they do it? Yes. But they did allow over 500 passing yards to LSU in the SEC championship game. Georgia won that game 50-30. They gave up 215 passing yards to Georgia Tech, not necessarily a great passing team. 261 passing yards to Mississippi State, 271 to Florida. LSU is the only team they've allowed over 300 passing yards to. Ohio State's averaging 294 through the air. But there are a couple games there where you look at the yardage and you go, that's more than usual for Georgia. Yes, they won all of those games. That's more than they typically allow. Yes, some came in garbage time. Yes, Georgia was winning big in some of those games where it didn't matter, but still something to kind of keep your eye on as they are now facing C.J. Stroud and arguably the best quarterback and best offense they have faced all year. And that is something to keep in mind heading into this semifinal game. But ultimately, Georgia has to find a way to stop the pass. They have 16 takeaways. They have 26 sacks, solid pass rush. They forced 1 or 2 turnovers. So for Ohio State, I think Georgia has this game in the bag. That's just me. Fun way to end your New Year's Eve night, guys. You watch this game and you run into 2023 on a high. And I think that's exactly what Georgia is going to do. I think they're going to run into 2023 on a high and anxious to defend their title. They're the reigning national champions, and they're going to have a shot to win back-to-back national championships with a win over Ohio State. Georgia, to me, has been the best team all year. They've been an elite team. We know they have a phenomenal defense per usual, and the people, focus so much on that, they kind of forget to talk about Georgia's offense that can match Ohio State step for step. They might not be as explosive as them. They might not be able to score in one play like Ohio State, but they will be able to match the Buckeyes step for step. It's in the Peach Bowl, right in their backyard in Atlanta. They've got the defensive advantage here. Georgia's going to make a statement on Saturday. They're going to make a statement on New Year's Eve. I'm not saying they're going to win this game by 30. I'm not going to say they're going to blow out Ohio State, but they are going to beat the Buckeyes, and they will be back in the national championship. We predict they will be playing Michigan. We think it'll be Georgia and Michigan, a rematch of last year's semifinal game, but regardless, whoever they play, Michigan or TCU, we are going to be in store for a phenomenal national championship game on January 9th. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on our website, thegridironexpert.com. Again, we have that holiday special over there, $29.99. Get you every single college football bowl game pick and every NFL playoff pick. We have some of the best picks in the entire country, guys. We're offering them to you for a low price, and a price that we know you'll get your money back very, very quickly. Go check it out. Link down in the description below. Become a part of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.